honestly, the mere fact that a game like Elden Ring actually exists, kind of incredible. That a game of such gargantuan scope and breadth of content can simultaneously feel very deliberate, almost handcrafted in its design. That this is both the most intense action game, while also being one of the deepest and most rewarding RPGs I have played. The fact that this is one of, if not the hardest game From Software has made in this format, while also being easily the most accessible and welcoming to newer players. That a spiritual successor incorporates aspects from every game which came before it, some being wildly different from others, and improves on all of them. And despite being 60 times larger than all of those games combined, and with a mechanic dedicated to summoning the only bitch I trust, me. Huddle. Successor is too lateral a word. This isn't just a step up from Souls and Souls-like games, it truly is an evolution. Elden Ring is the exact kind of game for which I implicitly rallied when bagging on games like Ghost of Tsushima. An open world that doesn't treat its world as some three-dimensional checklist of chores, but as a living and breathing place with people to meet and interesting things to see, and reasons to explore, not run end-to-end picking at icons, but actually look around, explore, organically engage yourself in a world simultaneously lush and bleak, beautiful yet brutal, brimming with secrets and stories. There is something in that tower, and you may never know if you don't look inside. Now, imagine that times a million. Just when you think you surely must be at the limits of the map, the game drops another king-sized region right on top. You bite into what you think is a ravioli, and then BAM! It's actually 3 lasagnas and a scarf knitted by grandma. And don't even get me started on what's under the plate. It's crazy, not only this game's ambition, but how successful it is in reaching that ambition, to the point I feel there truly is something for everyone in this absolute spud dunker of a humdinger. Now, confusing praise aside, game's not perfect. As one might expect, the openness of the design begets a sort of loose relationship with balance. This is the kind of game with 1,000 homies to summon, and yet there's only one bitch I can trust. Me. Tuttle. Balance can turn a little cheese or be cheesed, and you just know it's giving ammo to the gatekeepy. I can't believe you actually beat Melania using bleed, or using weapons, or using electricity to power your console and TV crowd. So what if I did? Some places are ass, the final boss is ultra mega ass. Some places are Caelid. The repetitive naming practice for characters feels like an act of war against the dyslexics, and some C-tier bosses get a bit of overexposure, but these little slips don't undo the grand design that is Elden Ring. What a complaint. You fight one guy 5 times in 100 hours. Where's my refund?
The loathsome dung-eater.
It is a legitimate modern classic, and I can't wait to see how other developers completely miss the point on why it's so good. We've already seen this happening on social media. No developers, we don't like it because the HUD sucks, or whatever. We don't like it because it hurts us, developers. The game is good, developers, because it uses the player's experience playing it to create its own storytelling. Because a bit of challenge demands that we engage with the game that little bit more and makes victory feel earned. Because it trusts the player wants to keep playing even when it's quiet. Because it doesn't base the player's presence and progress off blunt number grades. Because maybe they will miss something. That's alright, because they'll just find it the next time. Or the next time. Or the next time. Because it is unequivocally a game, not a ghost train or a sizzle reel. A game, taking full advantage of its medium to tell its grandiose tale and let players create their own. Even if the polish sometimes missteps, it's utter confidence that carries Elden Ring to the heights it sets for itself. It's a game where I was broaching 80 hours and was still loath to reach the end because I simply did not want to believe it could end. It is addictive, immersive. It's like someone took the ideal fantasy game that's been sitting in our collective wishful thinking and pressed it onto a disc. It is a reminder of what games can do and represents a masterclass developer working at the top of their art, which is the most heartening thing to me. That a director more than a decade after their breakout smash is still eager to keep strengthening their craft's already voluptuous physique. More than a great game, to me, Elden Ring represents games, and a future for them I believe in. Horses that can double jump. And so, of course, Elden Ring is my 2022 Game of the Year.